Good morning. My name is Curtis Menezes and I am the CSR manager here at Meta. I have been directed by Mark, our CEO, to deal with the situation we have on our hands. As you know, one of the biggest names in the internet industry, Meta, has been at the center of a lot of scandals, the Cambridge Analytica incident being one of the most prominent one. Today we want to take a critical look at this incident, looking at how it affected different parties and coming up with workable ways to stop it from happening again. There are three main questions that I'll be covering in this presentation. Who are the key stakeholders affected by the Cambridge Analytica scandal? And how have they been impacted by the breach of privacy? 2. What immediate steps can Meta take to address the concerns raised by these stakeholders and rebuild trust within the community? And 3. How can Meta implement long-term policies and strategies to ensure the protection of user data and prevent similar incidents from happening again? So here are the key stakeholders affected: Meta users, Meta employees, Meta investors, shareholders, advertisers, marketers, regulatory bodies, and the broader community. How have they been affected? For many different stakeholders, the Cambridge Analytica incident has far-reaching effects. The inappropriate exchange of user data by Meta, which affected around 87 million users, resulted in a decline in trust in Meta's management of personal information. Furthermore, 1.8 million Australians deactivated their Facebook accounts in the wake of the controversy, indicating a general lack of confidence and dissatisfaction among users. Investors in Meta were initially happy with the $5 billion FTC deal, but they were still cautious about any regulatory fines that would affect the company's earnings. Following the crisis, brand safety and consumer trust issues impacted advertising regulations and targeting choices, which presented difficulties for marketers and advertisers on Meta's platform. Global regulatory organizations initiated inquiries into Meta's data practices, indicated heightened vigilance and the necessity for more robust data protection legislation. Following Cambridge Analytica's harvesting of more than 50 million Facebook accounts for political reasons, regulatory agencies such as the Electoral Commission and the British Information Commissioner's Office are currently conducting investigations. Public authorities were likewise deeply outraged by the incident enacted, highlighting its profound effect on public opinion and the regulatory reaction. In summary, the Cambridge Analytica incident brought to light the vital significance of data privacy and governance in the digital world, impacting not just Meta users, but also investors, marketers, regulatory agencies, and the general public. With the serious consequences of the Cambridge Analytica incident, Meta must work swiftly and decisively to resolve the main issues and rebuild confidence with its wide range of stakeholders. Transparency, accountability, improved data protection procedures, and proactive stakeholder involvement are all part of our immediate approach. First and foremost, Meta will give top priority to putting strong data protection measures in place, such as frequent security assessments and the use of cutting-edge encryption technology. By taking these precautions, we want to preserve user security and privacy, while also proving our steadfast dedication to responsible data management and user confidence. Meta aims to promote openness and accountability by instituting unambiguous and succinct standards that oversee the gathering, archiving, and the use of data. To strengthen our commitment to moral business practices, an impartial oversight group will be formed to keep an eye on data practices and make sure regulations are followed. Furthermore, Meta understands the value of having direct communication with all parties that are impacted, such as users, staff members, investors, marketers, advertising, and regulatory agencies, and the general public. We will host town hall meetings, webinars, and focus groups to encourage candid discussions and get insightful input on suggested fixes. Furthermore, a specific communication channel will be created to offer prompt updates and respond to questions on data protection and privacy. These quick actions are in line with Meta's primary business goals, which include upholding user confidence, boosting company image, and guaranteeing long-term sustainable growth. Meta aims to become a pioneer in ethical leadership in the digital sector and lessen the effects of the Cambridge Analytica debacle by putting stakeholder engagement, transparency, and data security first. To sum up, Meta is unwavering in its resolve to resolve stakeholder issues, re-establish confidence, and maintain the greatest standards of corporate responsibility. We are certain that by working together and taking proactive steps, we can overcome this difficult time and come out stronger than before. Following the Cambridge Analytica scandal, which has serious ramifications for user privacy and data security, Meta has to take decisive action to win back the trust of its stakeholders and make sure that anything similar never happens again. This calls for an all-encompassing strategy that includes both immediate corrective measures and long-term planning projects. First and foremost, Meta has to implement strong internal rules and processes that strengthen data security and increase operational transparency. The strengthening of user privacy controls and constant methods is at the heart of its endeavor. It is recommended that Meta establish robust procedures to acquire explicit consent from users before to disclosing the information to advertising or third-party apps. This entails updating and streamlining its privacy policies to increase user accessibility and comprehension, giving consumers the power to make knowledgeable decisions regarding their data. To further regulate the access of third-party developers to user data, Meta needs to implement stringent monitoring and auditing procedures. This means that access rights for developers who are discovered to be in breach of data protection requirements must be swiftly revoked. Regular audits are necessary to verify compliance with these standards. Meta can lessen the possibility of other parties obtaining and abusing its data without authorization by ensuring stringent compliance with data access regulations. In the future, Meta out to give top priority to new developments in privacy-enhancing technology and solutions, investing in R&D projects to include privacy by design concepts into product development procedures is necessary to achieve this. Meta can prevent privacy issues in advance and build user confidence by including privacy protections into the architecture and design of its services. Apart from augmenting data security protocols, Meta needs to give precedence to openness and responsibility in its functioning. This entails proactively notifying impacted users and regulatory bodies of any data breaches or privacy events, as well as putting procedures in place for correction and reimbursement. By cultivating an environment that values openness and responsibility, Meta can show its dedication to moral behavior and win back its confidence of its constituents. In order to foster an ethical and data stewardship focused culture within the company, Meta should also fund staff awareness and training initiatives. This entails offering thorough instruction on data privacy regulations, moral data management techniques, and the repercussions of data misuse. Meta can lower the risk of internal data breaches and guarantee regulatory compliance by providing staff with the knowledge and abilities to protect data privacy standards. In summary, Meta has to take multi-phase strategy to dealing with the fallout from the Cambridge Analytica affair. This approach should include increased data protection measures, transparency initiatives, staff training programs, technology innovation, and advocacy activities. By putting these safeguards in place, Meta can reduce the likelihood of such privacy events, win back the confidence of its constituents, and establish itself as a pioneer in corporate responsibility and responsible data governance. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me after. And here are my references for the information that I gathered.